Hello, this is your brother Jamala, aka Brother Soldier 4D. This is the second part of this, the second session in this new channel with Panafricentric Ministries. You can check out the introduction on the previous video uploaded yesterday. So today we're going to get on with the topic on this earth. Is our identity Black Africans first, or our religion and faith first? Is our identity understood as Black Africans first, or our religion and faith first? So I've come to share with you and break bread with you what I've come up with, and I want you to be open, but I also don't expect for you to always disagree with everything I say. So that's why we have this dialogue. But my background and 40 years in different various church denominations, particularly Pentecostal, Baptist, African Methodist, and some different ins and outs with Catholic faith and the Methodist. So, there's a wealth of experience. I have a little background in Hebrew, and so it's, you can check out my introduction, and maybe that'll give you some more insight. But let's get on with this topic. So I have it divided into three parts. The first part will deal with some factual situations of how we evolve as humans, the human evolution. The second part will bring in a few scriptures from the Holy Scriptures from the Bible, and the third part will have what's the significance and importance of this discussion. So without further ado, part one. As I gathered my response, we must consider the chronology of our human evolutionary process and our basic needs for food, clothing, and shelter. Once we have these established, then we can go on to the other needs of love and respect and morality, and those are above the basic needs, religion included. So, in this sense, we are Black Africans first. Also, point two, prior to these needs, we are born into this world, into a race without choice. Point three, religious identity is a family or individual choice and decision. Even our family, if they're practicing a particular faith, at our infancy, the faith is a borrowed faith until we reach some kind of age of accountability, where one will decide to continue this faith or decide to abolish it and take up another faith. So, again, religion and faith is by choice, race is not. So, I still have that thing as racial identity is first. Now, 4. Society socializes us and immediately classifies us. Are we, let's use for instance, are we Ewe, Ashanti, Ga, Ghanaian, USA, Black, male, or female? We're usually known by this before we establish any kind of personal faith in God and any kind of religious conviction. 5. There's 2 scriptures that I want to take from the Bible. One is the Sabbath. When Jesus was speaking to the people, he was saying that Sabbath is made not for man. Sabbath is made for man, not man for Sabbath. Or we can also say, law is made for man, but not man for law. Mark chapter 2, verse 27. The law is made for African man or European man or whatever, not the other way around. Also, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Matthew 4, chapter 4, verse 4. The mere word alone in this verse means that man cannot live without bread. So we must eat to live and then have a life in order to live by God's laws. We are African, man and woman first. Again. Now, part 2. Scriptural identity. Now, I've already mentioned some scriptures, but this is a bigger focus on how we identify with Scripture. According to Acts chapters 22 and 23, the entire those chapters, Apostle Paul mentions several identifying factors of demographics and genealogies about himself, being a Jew of Tarsus, a Roman Pharisee, and as being from Jerusalem, a province of Cilicia, and a Hebrew Israelite of the seed of Abraham. That's the first part of this second. This is the first point of this second part. Now, in 2 Corinthians, this is also in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 22, when he speaks about the Hebrew Israelite and the seed of Abraham. Now, even a Christian convert, when Paul made a decision to move over to following Christ, that comes up in Acts 26, chapter 26, verse 28. So again, he made a decision. So his faith became something that changed, even though his ethnic origin or race is constant. Now, they don't say much about his race as far as Apostle Paul, but he did say he was a Hebrew Israelite, a Hebrew from the seed of Abraham. So this to me seems to be an overlying identity stronger than the ones preceding this. I think all the other ones have some idea of what he and who he is, but I think that seed of Abraham is the key here, because without being the seed of Abraham, without being a descendant from that Hebrew ethnicity, then there really is no reason for the evolution of a faith or a Jewish faith. It has to start somewhere. Okay, so again, race and ethnicity first. Okay, part 3. What is the importance? It is important. Its importance is vital for psychological and a healthy mindset for Africans and their entire welfare. Okay, so we must holistically embrace the beauty of what God created us to be as a nation of African people and civilization. When we struggle and fight the forces that work against us or against oppression, it gives us a common understanding and a common identity. To hate or marginalize our own race is devastating, to say the least, especially to our youth. A national enemy can divide and conquer by this issue alone. Now, a point I want to bring up is a short story that I had an experience here on this continent in Ghana. And there were 2 junior high Ghanaian girls that I noticed labeling me as possibly a Bruni and possibly either mocking me or maybe they were thinking I was a handsome guy. Maybe they were giggling. I have no idea. But I know that it stuck out in me. And then one of the girls, when she mentioned that I was a Bruni or something, I responded, I am African. But she hit me back with strong emphasis that I was like the white man, and said that basically she was saying I was a white man, and she was also saying that and made a point to make it known that I was not Ghanaian. But I hit back. I said that she, like myself, is African by race first, and our nationality as USA or Ghanaian second, comes afterwards. So I further clarified that the European once arrived in Ghana and other African countries for Africans and not white men. They clearly understood who they wanted for slaves, and I added that if the slave ship arrived today, which was the day we were talking, that they will make no racial distinction between her and me, but that we both would be shackled and chained together. Shackles on our wrists, our neck, our ankles, and we would put on that slave ship as Africans. Okay? And they would make no distinction except the fact she's female and I'm male. We as a people of African people must be able to survive mentally, to change our biases by changing our biases against each other for the sake of love. Lastly, a study was done in 1940 in North America. It was called Brown versus the Board of Education. And this experiment was done with children's ages 4 to 6, which were asked questions about two dolls, one being the color of a black African and one being the color of a white European. Two dolls. And these black children, or these African children, selected in every case practically the white doll over the black doll as being more beautiful, more intelligent or smart, prettier, good in behavior, nice hair. Which indicates to me and anybody else that teachers, preachers, and society at large must play a large role in contributing to the self-hatred that evolves in the minds of our youth and carries on into their adulthood. Irreparable damage is done, to say the least. And they act accordingly against their own race with these type of biases. So, we teachers, preachers, and people that oversee us in the villages that raise our nation and that raise our children to be a nation, it's not good. That's not good. That's not a good thing. And that happened in North America, but I see even grown men, Africans, that fly over to North America and won't even talk to me. Won't even talk because they think I'm associated with maybe something wicked or evil, but I notice they cater to the European race. These are things that need to stop. Okay, you can't judge every book by the cover. So anyway, that is my basis, and my time is short. So we'll talk, the next topic will be the discussion of is self-hatred. Is there self-hatred? Is it consuming African nations and the diaspora? Is self-hatred consuming? Give some examples of self-hatred and how is it consuming us? So this is the conclusion of this discussion today. I hope you enjoyed it, And as again, I thank God for being here, and God bless Hotep.